One day they'll find a way to cure motor neurone disease. Until then, the MonSTaR Foundation needs help to fund research by Sydney doctors and clinicians who are leading the way. With thousands of Australians touched by this crippling disease, your donation is greatly needed. Just go to monstarfoundation.com.au. MonSTAR, an intriguing name for a foundation that believes a cure for motor neurone disease is within reach. I'm proud to be the patron of the MonSTAR Foundation, supporting two inspirational causes, being the Motor Neurone Disease Association of New South Wales and the STAR Association.
My name's Dominic Rowe, I'm a neurologist. I direct the multidisciplinary motor neurone disease clinic here at Macquarie University. There are 600 people a year with a new diagnosis of motor neurone disease. In 2012, 600 Australians will die from motor neurone disease. That's twice as many Australians will die from motor neurone disease than will die from HIV/AIDS. Motor neurone disease now proportionately kills twice as many Australians as it did 25 years ago. Increasingly, we understand the genetic causes of motor neurone disease. What we still don't have is a stop button to switch these genetic forms of motor neurone disease off. 1 in 40,000 Australians this year will develop motor neurone disease. Expressed another way, the statistic is a lot more frightening. For an Australian born now, the lifetime risk of developing motor neurone disease is 1 in 500. We don't yet have a cure for motor neurone disease. A cure for motor neurone disease is dependent on understanding the cause and how the biology produces the death of these special cells in our nervous system, motor neurons.
Motor neurone disease is a hideous condition and we're striving for a cure with ongoing research.
If we had therapies that could slow or stop the death of these motor neurons, we could turn what is a rapidly, inexorably fatal disease into a chronic disease that we can manage. Multidisciplinary care dramatically improves the survival of patients with motor neurone disease and also improves their quality of life. This is not rocket science. This is straightforward, nuts and bolts, integrated care. It's not hard. Currently, this form of care is only provided to a few people with motor neurone disease. With the tyranny of distance in New South Wales, we've pioneered the delivery of telemedicine in the form of Skype interviews for patients with motor neurone disease in rural and regional New South Wales.
Funds also go towards providing essential equipment and the operation of a comprehensive clinic at Macquarie Neurology.
Motor neurone disease respects no age, sex, creed or race. It doesn't respect geography. So we should also provide expert care for people with motor neurone disease irrespective of those factors and also irrespective of where they live.
My name is Sandra Boresic. I'm a registered nurse within a clinic. My role is to coordinate the patient services in the community and in a hospital and to liaise with patients. I'm their first point of contact.
My name's Jo Fowler and I work for the Motor Neurone Disease Association of New South Wales. Part of my role as a regional advisor, I go out and meet them in the home, and often over a cup of tea we sit down and talk. It takes about a couple of hours and we look at what's happening for them, how they're travelling on this journey. They've often just had the diagnosis. They're often very distressed to be told that they've got a fatal illness. For me, it takes a bit sitting and talking to them to let them know what's out there. Of course, I always tell them about the services here at Macquarie and how accessible that is for them. I've worked with the clinic for 7 years now with Professor Rowe and Sandra, and it's a great comfort to me having my clients linked through to the clinic because I know then that they're getting the services that they need.
My name's Kevin Brigden. I'm an orthotist. We do all the bracing for people in the clinic, so for their feet, their neck, their back if necessary, any braces that they need to help with their mobility or eating or anything like that to hold them upright, keep them going for as long as possible and more comfortable. We use a lot of these sort of little simple brace, goes inside the shoe, lifts their foot up when they're walking so they don't trip over their toe, so they don't have to go to hospital for broken bones. So for people that get sore jaw and all of that and they still can't hold their head up properly, we can fit a a custom-made brace, goes up the back, and a headband. It's just an elastic strap, so it holds them upright, braces them. They can still use their jaw so they can eat, and it's good for their lungs so they're not collapsed over all the time. With these braces being custom made, they actually work out quite expensive, and the clinic pays for all of the braces. Something like that, you're looking at about $600, and they're only going to be using it for a short while a lot of the time, and they just can't afford it. So a lot of them are unemployed because of their disease. Medicare doesn't cover anything in orthotics, and if you went through an ABLE or a funding like that, it would probably take 6 to 12 months to be funded, so it's good that the clinic does pay for it.
My name's Megan Joyce and I'm the dietitian here at the Motor Neuron Disease Clinic. The positive thing about this clinic is that they get to see lots of people from different disciplines, and so I'm a dietitian, but they also get to see a speech pathologist and a physio and everyone else that's capable of helping them. I look at people's nutritional status. They get to see me regularly and it's cheap for them. So that's a fantastic thing, and so I'm always looking at making sure that things are either improved, or if they're not improved, that what I can do to improve their situation. So yeah, the clinic is great. They've got great follow-up, and they've got access to many people that can help them. Yeah.
My name's Sally Petendry and I'm a speech pathologist. My role in the Motor Neuron Disease Clinic is to provide support to people who attend the clinic in terms of particularly speech and swallowing problems that they may be experiencing as a result of the motor neuron disease that they have. I provide support for swallowing. We look at communication strategies, and sometimes they're very common sense, but they can diversify and become more complicated and involve use of technology to augment or supplement their natural speech. And that sometimes is where we run into cost issues, because public services sometimes don't have the staff and they don't always have the expertise. So we have to try bridge that gap through the clinic as much as we can. Most people in the clinic are very accessible by phone or email to provide support outside of the context of that one-on-one clinic interaction as well.
My name is Kylie Crystal. I am an occupational therapist. I think this is a fantastic clinic. One of the best things about it is that people make one visit to the clinic and they actually get to see a whole range of specialists. It means we can all work together, it means we can all share information, and it's less taxing on the person themselves because they are only having to make that one visit, and they're getting a lot of very experienced therapists here to assist them. In theory, people should have access to an occupational therapist from their local hospital, but there are very long waiting lists in some areas, and when people describe things such as motor neuron disease, they are walking one day and then they wake up the next day and their leg's not working and they perhaps can't walk properly, and so you can't then be waiting 3 months to have your local occupational therapist come out and see you. Someone with motor neuron disease, you can't just say you're not walking now, but you're going to have to wait a year before you can even apply to get a ramp or to get your toilet modified or to get your bathroom modified so you can get in and have a shower. One of the problems that people with motor neuron disease face is they actually often fall in a bit of a hole when it comes to funding and support for equipment or perhaps home modifications that they may require. The Motor Neuron Disease Association is wonderful because it keeps a store of equipment that people can loan and it is at no cost to them. Sometimes with the equipment side of things, Dominic will even pay for things if I see someone that we can't obtain that piece of equipment from somewhere and it's going to make a difference. So, which is amazing. It's amazing.
They're a fantastic team at Macquarie Neurology, just as there's an amazing group of people at STAR. As you've seen, our passion every day is to improve the quality of someone else's life, and this will never end. I'm asking you to choose MonSTAR as your charity and to join us as we work together to make a real difference. You can find out more at monstarfoundation.com.au. Thank you.